snow falls and you can see it through the white window frames. The crystals are slowly falling and a vast amount of white dust accumulating. The Bennett household smells of roast beef and cinnamon. Arthur Morgan could not stop thinking of the white light he sees every time he dreams. It had only been a year since he lost his wife and that terrible accident. Rebecca Morgan Lee was a beautiful woman that wore thick glasses and had a book in her hands at all times. Arthur and Rebecca found love in the library. Looking through books, Arthur fell in love with her from the first glimpse. While for Rebecca, it took more than a look at his eyes. "Arthur, do you want something to drink?" Melissa Bennett asked from the kitchen. "Some tea." Arthur is a tea lover. He has drank it since he was young. He always travels with a mug and bags of tea on his work bag. Joseph Bennett is a simple man, leading a simple life. He works mostly at home and goes to the office only once per week. Joseph spends most of his long free time helping her wife on simple household tasks. This last year, Joseph has been getting closer with Arthur, helping him cope with the pain. Melissa walked to the table with a large cup of hot water and a ceramic box full of different tea flavors. Arthur grabbed a green tea package and ripped it open, taking out the bag and putting it inside the container. He stared and watched the bag color the water. It slowly flow out of the lips, bringing flavor to the tea. "And a sugar with it?" Melissa asked, before leaving back to the kitchen and continue the cooking. "No." Arthur looked at his eyes. "Thanks, Mr. Bennett." Melissa felt weird being called Mrs. "You can call me Mel if you like." She sat back and then left to do her duties. Christmas is the busiest time of the year, and that may have been the primary reason why Rebecca got into that accident. Drivers become worse with the rush of getting and finding the perfect gift for their loved ones, and the snow falling on the pavement, even blinding the view because piles of the white crystal accumulate in the front glass. Rebecca woke up that Christmas morning without a gift for his husband. She felt bad but also did not know what to give him. After all these years, all that Arthur has left to receive from her was a baby. Unfortunately, Rebecca could not get pregnant. She felt bad for that. It is her fault after all. They stopped trying when the doctor made the medical exam and said that they will never have children. Adoption was away, and they were about to get a child. A few days later, the accident occurred, then all the baby drama went down the drain. Rebecca's car was totally wrecked, and all that Arthur found inside her bag was a wrapped present box with his name on the tag. It is Christmas morning, and Arthur is holding the wrapped present in his hand. It's been inside the box for a year. He doesn't have the courage to open it. After all, it has been hard for him to be without her, and it becomes harder due that it is his fault. Rebecca went to the store to buy his Christmas present. What is enclosed inside the wrapping paper might mean the last thought that Rebecca had of him. Arthur then hears the doorbell. It is his neighbor, Joseph Bennett. "Arthur," Joseph Bennett asked at the other side of the door, wearing a huge black jacket with white stripes. "How are you today?" "It's been a year, and somehow it feels like a lifetime." Arthur was holding the small box in his hands. "I don't know what to do. It just feels cold." "Well, it should be because of the snow." Joseph ignored the box. He knew it was Rebecca last year's present. Arthur laughed and put a fake smile on his face, then slid the box inside his pocket. He drew his eyes side to side, wondering why this man, his neighbor, came all the way here in a cold morning like today. A storm is rising. The snow is crashing into the walls of every house. "Melissa and I wanted to invite you tonight for Christmas dinner," and then just looking at the Christmas tree without lights or decoration inside of Arthur's home, he added, "You shouldn't be alone this time of the year." "Thanks, Joseph, I'll be there." Arthur felt socially pressured to assist. The only real thing he wants to do is lay down on his bed the whole day and wait until tomorrow's sun comes shining out of the hills. Rebecca heard the roaring machine of the truck and saw the lights coming toward her. It was too late. She then heard the tumbling machine falling on her, and the last thing she saw was a Christmas tree glimmering with lights in the middle of the road. Then it all went white, and she knew what was to come next. Her life terminated in that exact imputable moment, and there was nothing to be done. The Christmas tree glimmered, its light shining the heart of everyone inside the Bennett household. They are all sitting at the table eating the roast beef and drinking hot drinks. There has a smell of chocolate, toffee nut, and turkey. Food is coming from the kitchen like a time bomb. Molly's and Granny are bringing all this jolly food to the table. Little Charles is playing with his coloring set. That Santa brought him. Arthur is taking a small sip of the green tea and feasting from all different types of meat being brought to the table. Something about this place had made him forget the reason why he was weeping this morning. Still on his pocket, it is that small box. Little Charles, Aunt Susan said. Everyone called the child that way. He's young, about 10 years old, and recently he has been starting to grow even taller. You think it's time to open presents? Yes, Auntie, he shouted with excitement. Children have this excitement about Christmas as if it is all fun and games, which it is. But they do not get tired with all the gift buying, the crazy cooking, and the rush. The children just live the moment and believe the stories that are told. That is why adults cannot understand the freshness of the season. Arthur stayed there. While everyone passed gifts around, he forgot to bring something for his neighbors. The floor piled itself with wrappers and boxes. It all became a garbage bin. Arthur then saw Melissa coming toward everyone with a cup of champagne on her left hand and a spoon on her right one. The two objects clashed together, making this clinking sound. Everyone stopped their activities suddenly to stare into Melissa's aura. Wicked news, Melissa said, while Joseph stood beside her. We are pregnant. We're having a baby. Nobody expected that news. The whole room went quiet, staring at each other. Seconds later, clapping began. Everyone cheered except for Arthur, who stayed in the corner, full of shock. To remember his granddad's wish to have a child. Suddenly, Joseph walked and stood beside Arthur, then put his mouth closer to his ear. Is everything okay? He whispered. Maybe I should leave now, Arthur said while pushing Joseph with his hand, trying not to make a scene. It's still early. We still haven't eaten dessert, he said, trying to make him stay. Melissa cooked those chocolate truffles you enjoy. Arthur stayed and ate those chocolate dessert. His mind kept thinking of the baby and how it might be his. He is not bound to tell. He owns that to Melissa, a chance for her to be happy and not to be reminded of her mistakes. It was in the final days of November when Melissa came storming into Arthur's house, tears streaming down her face. She has had a terrible fight with Joseph and came to talk it out with his hearing neighbor. That angriness and the closeness made her not to think, so she strived to come into the men's household for relationship advice. Arthur opened the door and saw her, then froze momentarily and said, Is everything okay? Arthur closed the door while Melissa was inside. No! Melissa's hands are trembling. She got them inside her pockets and her voice is cracked. I just had a fight with Joseph. Her tears were coming out even faster. He hit me! Arthur walked to the kitchen, which was beside the living room, where Melissa was sitting down. He prepared 2 cups of tea and came down to sit beside her. He was not surprised that Joseph hit her after all. Joseph's temper raised high each time he gets mad. Do you want to talk about it? He said, giving her the cup. Oh, you're so nice, she said, and staring into Arthur's eye. Why can't I have a husband beloved like you? Life isn't fair, Mrs. Arthur began crying at the thought of Rebecca who left him. Things happen, and then that is all we have. Those broken moments, making us break apart. Those moments are the ones that make life worth living, even if it feels like hell. They stay quiet for a long time, and then their wet lips touch each other, and it happened. The kiss led to something that it shouldn't not have a cure. They did it, and it felt wrong. Now there is no way of going back and undo their actions. Arthur felt the snow getting inside his tall boots. He's only walking to the house beside, but it feels longer. With the freezing cold, the wind is blowing, and he cannot feel a muscle on his face. The snow is falling from the gray sky, a Christmas as white as bleach. Arthur knows that the child is his, and he can feel it, that sense of new knowledge, wrecking him. On every step he takes, he will try to let go for Joseph, but there is this urge growing inside. Tears are streaming down his face, making his cheeks wet. He throws his body to the pile of snow And later, even the flakes are getting inside his jacket and it feels like taking a shower in cold water. It's been a year and nothing has changed. His heart cracks each time even deeper. A whole earthquake is breaking each of his bones. As he breathes, smokes come out. His lips are wide and shallow. The small box fell out of his pocket. As it fell to the ground, the paper began to fade as snow touched the print. Arthur held the box and he knew that it might be time to open it. This might be the grand sign from the universe he was waiting. Here with the color Christmassy wrap. Inside there was this wood box, only a box. But when he opened it, there was a golden book pin. Arthur began shedding tears. He knew what it symbolized. It shows the deep passion he had with Rebecca. It is a symbol of their love. They met in a library full of books piled all over the room. That small object is full of meaning, a metaphor to show their endless romance. It did have an end after all. And that is the saddest part. That took it all. As if it was a storm wrecking a ship. He took the life of the most beautiful wife in the world that Arthur could ever have. Arthur's life had led to this moment. He's sitting in a stool at a bar with a mug of beer, alone, standing in the dark dim light. The bar is almost empty, except for some tables where groups of guys are hauling at each other. And there's a lady with his boyfriend kissing in the corner beside the Christmas tree. The bartender comes and pours more beer into Arthur's mug without asking. "It's in the house," the bartender said, feeling sorry. No one should be spending Christmas night on a bar alone. A petite girl entered the room, around her 30s. She is wearing thick glasses and her blonde hair is slicked all the way back. When Arthur looked at her, it reminded him of Rebecca and what he lost. At a second glance, he was able to realize that she was only another woman with thick glasses. This young woman wore a dress, a white dress and a jacket of fur around her shoulders. She looked smart, definitely the kind of girl who spent nights in her bed reading with only a light bulb on. Arthur could not stop looking at her. She entered alone at a bar. A girl in a bar alone? This is weird, he thought. She sat on a stool right beside Arthur. Her name was Chloe, and she just had a breakup with Stefan, his high school sweetheart. Chloe was stuck in a love she didn't deserve and decided to end it before another year passed by. Chloe could feel it inside her that walking in the bar was the right choice. Something smells fresh and new. "Hey, mister," she said, looking beside her. "What are you doing alone on this Christmas night?" "I'm trying to think of the future," Arthur answered in a profound way. "Well, that is a big question we all ask ourselves," Chloe responded, holding the hot cup with her two hands. "But what brought you to this peculiar place during a magical night like today?" Christmas is not a time to be alone. The end.